It's still Scalpel, baby. Let's fucking go. I don't know what the fuck happened, but I was literally recording a fucking very good speech, and it got cut off. I'm not saying the whole thing again, man. Anyways, happy Friday. Um, I had a tough day today, guys. I'm just gonna keep it short and simple now that I just talked to myself for 10 minutes, and it didn't even save. I don't know what the fuck happened, but I think I know why. Maybe I was over here. Let's see. Okay. Gave back most of my gains this week, man. I'm just gonna be honest. I had a tough day. It started off very frustrating, and it exposed it exposed a weakness in my strategy and in my plan. You know what? This isn't even technical. I don't think this is a technical thing. This was a mental game. These were mental game failures that I made today, and you know, long story short, with me having such a good cushion and having such a great week, I mean, we could go back and watch all my videos, man. I've been killing it this week. I've been making disciplined decisions and I've been successful in my strategy. I had a nice cushion. I was moving faster than I thought. And then, man, I didn't know when to slow down today. And I noticed that obviously after today, and I'm sitting here, I'm going to go over this, that I struggle with protecting my gains. And guys, I'm gonna put the fucking truth out there, man. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be a professional at this. You know what I mean? This is the perfect place for me to learn this in my prop firm eval, where my money's not on the line. But still, I take it seriously. But today, I struggled with the mental game, and I'm gonna be honest and upfront and transparent with whoever watches this and myself mainly, because there's no other way that I'm gonna get past it and learn from it unless I freaking face it. I am facing it right now, and I fucked up today, man. I fucked up. And I don't think it was as bad. Um, I made it worse, especially towards the later of the day, and we'll kind of go we'll kind of go over that. Um, you know, my biggest mistake today was again, I had such a nice cushion. I wanted to size up. One of my daily goals today was to size up and start pushing my risk a little bit more because I've been pretty conservative. With how much I've been risking in this prop firm. I'm not even risking a freaking 0.5% of my account. I'm risking more like fucking 0.25. I'm being very conservative, and I wanted to push that a little bit and test my comfort zone. And just today just wasn't the day to do it. It just wasn't the day. There were lower quality setups, and I failed to transition to that. And I failed to realize it in the moment. And guys, the very first trade that I took, which was a valid setup, got me fired up. I'm just gonna be honest, it got me fired up, and yeah, I think my decisions after that, they just were not on point. I was taking trades that I shouldn't have been taking, lower quality shit, things with no news. I mean, I really lost sight of like what my perfect setup was today. In other days, I think I would have done better. But just how the day started, man, we're gonna go over it all, and I'm really gonna open up these. I'm gonna try to open up these losses, and take out the lessons, extract the lessons. So next week, I can put myself back in a better position. Again, gave back most of my gains this week. I'm gonna be honest, but glass is half full. My prop account is still in the positive by a little decent amount. I'm sick of talking about the numbers, man. I'm not judging myself by P&L anymore. Fuck that shit. Like, I'm gonna judge by my execution because that's what matters. That's what really matters. And I think I get too caught up in it. You know what I mean? If I'm freaking killing it and I'm doing great and I'm freaking ready to pick up my BMW that I want so much, and then when I'm red, I'm feeling down. Like, nah, man, I gotta fix that. That's a problem. I don't try to speak on these mistakes that I make as negative, but they're there and they're impacting my performance. And I had 4 straight. Monday through Thursday was great. I was doing really good, and then today, when shit got hard, and I faced some adversity, I just wasn't able to adjust in the way that I should have been. But I want to make this really clear. I used to have a big struggle with controlling my losses and not respecting my stops, bag holding for sometimes hours, man. I'm talking like this was like a month or 2 months ago where I was making these mistakes like that on low quality setups. So let's just say I'm going to show you a couple low quality setups that I got in today. But the kicker is, where I said I was going to stop out, I have fucking stopped out on every single trade that I have taken in this prop firm account without fail. No hesitations. Not fucking one. And with that, I'm going to highlight that as my biggest accomplishment more than anything, is that I have been able to. I'm pretty confident that I'm not going to make that mistake anymore. When I say I'm going to cut the shit, I cut it. It's like second nature now. However, now I've exposed new weaknesses in my process, in my mental game. Now that's the next fucking thing that I'm gonna go after. That's the next thing I'm gonna go after is how to protect my capital better, how to avoid tilt, how to avoid revenge trading, and just that negative spiral of emotional decisions. That's my next priority. But I'll tell you, no matter fucking how hard it got, 6, 7, 8 straight losses in a row, I cut that shit when I said I was going to cut it. I put stops at the open market to protect myself. So, and let's say like my prop firm didn't have like a max loss that like automatically kicked you off, which I was close to that, but I didn't hit it. Yeah, there's no fucking telling. If this was like a live account, there's no telling when I would have stopped, man. There's no telling. So yeah, I took several losses today that I didn't need to take, but I stopped out when I said I was going to stop. Even when it went against me, time after time after time after time, I still stopped out when I said I was going to do it. So at least for that, I had the discipline to do that in the face of the hardest trading day that I've had in my prop firm so far. In the face of the biggest adversity that I've had in this challenge, in this evaluation, I still stuck to my predetermined risk. And I'm going to celebrate that, but still, we got to dig into these trades and see how I was unable to protect my gains from the week and how I gave it back on low quality fucking shit. So let's fucking go, man. All right. First trade of the day. Oh my God, man. This is where it started. Let's just keep this simple. We had a downtrend on the 5-minute. We were starting to break out of that going into 7 a.m. Something I've seen before, something I've traded before. I thought it was fine. I thought it was a fine setup. They didn't have breaking news. The volume was okay. And for that, I should have maybe just controlled the size I took. Again, I wanted to size up a little bit. I don't think I sized into this one too much, but I should have been more cautious with my size because we're not at A+ setup. We don't have breaking news. We don't have high relative volume. Although the setup is there, this wasn't the highest quality setup, but it was still a setup, and it was here, and I took it. And as you can see, we were breaking out of that downtrend. Here's that first pullback to the 5-minute 8, that first 1-minute candle to make a new high. I grabbed an entry, and my target on this was really new pre-market highs over here because, the top of the flagpole, we can't really do much there. I was really looking for this high. And again, we were coming into 7 a.m., so, I thought it was going to go, man. I thought it was just going to go, especially with that candle right here. This was kind of a fake out candle. And guys, right here, this is where the morning got tough. And this was my very first trade. It was a good setup. And I told myself right here, my stop here was at 379 because the low of this pullback was 380, and that's just how I've been doing. That's how I've been doing my business. It is what it is. Could it go? Yes. Oh, it fucking went here. But 99% of the time, this has been protecting myself and been capping my downside. And that's what I'm going to keep doing. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm not going to change this just because, as you can see, we came down to 378, 2 cents below what my risk off was. And this thing, long story short, man, once that 7 a.m. volume came in, it just left me, man. I got stopped out. And you know what? I think I could have been quick enough to get in this because now here, I wasn't paying attention to the 5-minute. That's the big mistake. And a technical level, I should have been looking at the 5-minute more, man. I've been so stuck on the 1-minute that, it is easy to get chopped out. But even though I took that small loss right there, which I didn't think was a huge deal, I could have got back in this at the first 5-minute candle to make a new high. That's valid right here. And look at this thing, man. Keep in mind, I literally just got sapped out 30 seconds ago, and this thing just right to my target in 30 seconds. This is what got me fueled up right off the start. This was my very first trade, and I'm just like, okay. I've been saying like I've been talking about like, oh, I stop out 1 penny under the stop, but it can go without me. But if it happens, and here it is, it happened, and I don't think I was really ready for it, man. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I was ready for it. And I was very frustrated. I was very frustrated. Um, Maybe a little angry, but anger is mainly just like a lot of frustration. But I'd say I was pretty frustrated, and I was just like, you know what, it happened, blah blah blah. But I don't think I, on a deep level, really understood that. And I know this was my very first trade, but I probably should have just walked away and like, talked to myself a little bit. Um, but yeah, I got, this one went without me, and I think I should have been quick enough to maybe try again because it was still valid on the 5 minute. Even though it stopped me out, that doesn't mean that the trade is invalid anymore. I just want to make that important point. Just because I got stopped out of where I entered and what I was risking does not mean that the play is dead. And I should have been able to recognize that, but that's okay. You know, this is why we learn, and this is why I do these recordings. I love seeing this in real time because I get to come back and find these little nuances, and that's how I was able to improve my strategy so much, and do so well up until this point, was because I review this stuff all the time. And yeah, this is definitely a recording that I'm gonna hold on to. But yeah, man, I got that thing went without me. And guys, I was willing to take this next trade on it, that next pullback. It looked like it was ripping right there. Kind of want to see when I took another entry. All right, so took another trade on it here. Now, the only thing about this one is, yes, this is that first 1 minute candle to make a new high, but we're kind of extended now. We're getting pretty extended, but still, it was worth a shot. Looked like it might want to go for new highs right there. And this is my second attempt on it. My risk was 4/16s. As you see, as soon as 4/16s came, I got stopped out of that one. But again, maybe it could have been more patient because we were still pulling back on the 5 minute here. Again, you guys hear me talk about timing, and timing is important as well. It does get tough when, you see that first 1 minute candle to make a new high, and like the setup can continue higher, but then it's like you also have to factor in, what the 5 minutes looking like, because on the 5 minute, if we go back, this is kind of the setup you see on the 5 minutes. So, once it's better to have like some kind of confluence on the time frames. So like for this setup right here, you got like a 1 minute candle to make a new high plus the 5 minute candle making a new high at the same time. That's like when shit works a lot better. Yeah, and ultimately this one wanted to pull back more, so I got stopped out on my second trade. So those were my first two trades, and I was sitting pretty red on the day. Nothing terrible. Again, I stopped out on time. But I ended up taking another trade on this, man, and I just don't think that it deserved it. Like, this was the play. This was the play. And if anything, the second flag was the play. Maybe I tried this again right here. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, so I took this again, but guys, this is where the money is made. And this is where the probability is the highest. Is on this very first boom move. The second is good, but I'd say I probably was a little bit too aggressive on the second side because I tried it twice. If anything, I'd rather try fucking twice on the first setup. But long story short, I got stopped out of this one again, man. This one actually looked like, this one, it could have went, man. Like, look at this. This was a good, this would have been the better entry. Let's just say it like that. Because the timing of the 5 minute was better. So as you can see, like, this is how the setup closed right here. Or that last candle that I got stopped out, we closed that like that. And now this is that next 5 minute candle. This is what I'm talking about. So now we have this candle that's starting to push green. Once you see that 1 minute candle to make a new high, you want to see this candle start pushing for that 5 minute candle to make a new high. And this would have been a much better entry. As you can see, I was almost close to getting stopped out right there. But yeah, this is the candle you want to be in on. I was a little too early on the trade before this. It looked like it wanted to go. Here now we're testing that 5-minute candle to make a new high. You want to see this break and then rip for that target right there. We just didn't get it. Just didn't get it. Looked like it wanted to again. But they were rejecting that thing. And right there, I took a third loss on it. So I was pretty aggressive on this thing, man, and I think it just started from me missing that setup right there, or me getting faked out of it. And yeah, you know, I don't think this, with this having no news and the volume not being anything super crazy, I just don't think it was worth three shots. The first one was fine. Maybe the second one, I think the second one was fine here, but you know, once I took this second loss on it, I should have just left it alone and just moved on, especially that we don't have breaking news. So yeah, you know, I didn't have a great start, and I kept telling myself it's okay, you know, on the next trade, you know, I'll make it back. And then we had Mod V, which kind of just made this massive move. Again, no breaking news on this. This was like a Chapter 11 bankruptcy play or something like that, something I'm not too familiar with. And I got aggressive on this name too, man. And the thing about this one is pennies are hard to trade because I need at least 10 cents a share of profit. So I have 106 right here as the potential target. Like, I got to be perfect on this trade. And I did take, you know, in hindsight, this was a pretty valid pattern. It was that first 5-minute proper pullback, which I usually do well on. So I don't think like trying this was too bad. I think it was because I already just took 3 losses in a row on the other one. I don't think this was a terrible trade. As you can see, I stopped out here. Oh no, I didn't. I actually held that level. I was watching the tape pretty closely. But yeah, you know, I guess this just wasn't the highest quality trade. No breaking news on it. I stopped out right there. Now we're going into 8 a.m., which I typically don't like trading close to 8 a.m. So you see, like, my decisions just were starting to get more low quality and more low quality. And I was just, you know, anything that was kind of moving or setting up in my way, I was going for it. And I think I even tried it again here. Yep, I went long again here. Ended up holding this for a while. It looked like it wanted to go there, you know. And you know, if this thing would have went, you know, it would have been a good trade, and I would have been in a pretty decent place on the day. Still red, but I just think these trades were just lower quality today, man. I think I definitely could have sat out of this one. It being a penny, harder to trade. There's 2 more losses right there, so I'm sitting 0 for 5 on the morning. And then we had this one, penny. I didn't even trade this one. Couldn't fucking manage it. And we had EEIQ, which I don't think this one had breaking news either. It was another weird setup. However, it was getting volume. And I took this first pullback on it, which I didn't think was, I don't think this was a terrible trade. I think it would have been better if I avoided Mod V and maybe just tried this one out, because this wasn't a terrible setup. You know, it's that nice first proper pullback. This one just ended up not going either. Actually, no, this was a pretty good setup right here. But I needed 10 cents a share of profit. I was at a 140 average. I needed $1.50 on this thing, man. And it looked like, you know, it wanted to try to make a move there. Just, I mean, I don't know, man. Just lower quality trades today, I guess. I think the not having news on these plays, and look how long I'm pretty holding this for a while. You know, I'm looking at these, and I don't think they're terrible shots. You know, they're in the game plan. This one was just fucking consolidating. I ended up stopping out again there. 0 for 6 on the morning. I just kept trying, man. I'm just like, you know, I'm at like a 50% accuracy, 40%, 50%. I'm like, maybe I'm going to lose 6 in a row, and then that one's finally going to go. But, yeah, man, as you can see, I'm just, you know, I'm stopping out the right way on all these trades, but I'm just, I'm slowly just giving back my gains for the week, just giving back my gains. But I really was. I was just like trying to stay composed and try my best to take like whatever, the best setup that was there. But I don't know, maybe these just weren't the highest quality plays, and I think them not having news was like a big thing. Normally I like that breaking news, nice volume, nice like looking price action and things like that. We just weren't really getting that, and I was just being too aggressive. But I didn't blow up my account or anything like that, and I didn't freaking explode on one trade and one emotional trade. It was just loss after loss after loss after loss, controlled losses with a little bit bigger size than I've been trading with this whole week. And that once I took like that first couple, I should have sized down immediately. I should have fucking cut my size in half or just risked like, I was risking closer to like 70, 80, $100 on these trades, and that was just too much. And I should have realized that freaking 3 or 4 trades ago. Yep, there was another big loss there. I think that was the end of Then we had Elab. Now, it obviously seems that I missed Elab trying to fucking make this one work. And this would have been a pretty good setup right here. Has a nice dip, clear risk off, I ended up doing very well on this at the open. But again, I don't think you know what? I think I did take a trade on this. This is where I knew I was getting fucking... Again, not a terrible entry. This is the second 5-minute pullback, but you can see we have like this big red candle. We've already made a pretty good move on the day. I don't think it had breaking news. I mean, it was only up 40%, but this was the setup I needed to be in. That very first pullback, I missed that, so now I'm trading the second one. So I already have a lower probability of having this trade work, especially with it having no news. I just was not there, man. I wasn't there where I needed to be, and I was late, and yada, 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 yada. And look at that. Very quickly, I got stopped out of this one. But I kind of want to see that, like, did I stop out on time? I'm pretty sure I did. Risk on this, 261s. Let's see how I did cutting this loss. I mean, guys, on any of these trades, especially if you see how many losses I just took, I could have let these things, I could have bag held these things, but I didn't, man. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. Looking at, all these low quality setups I took today, I didn't buckle on my stops. And I think that that's something that's going to serve me well in the future. I mean, forever, man. For the rest of my trading career, that's something that's going to serve me well. Because that's a big thing to not have. A big thing to not worry about is fucking not being able to control yourself when a trade is going against you. And, I'm proud of myself that how hard this day was and how hard I made it for myself, that I didn't fuck that up. I didn't fuck that up. And that's a big ass win. Besides all the money I gave back and the fucking money this and money that, that's the big thing. That's the big win of the day. I have some things to work on, and it's very clear. I have some big things that I need to work on. I need to work on protecting my capital. I need to freaking redefine what an A+ setup is for me and learn how to be patient for those on a consistent basis. I was pretty much the whole week up until today. And today it cost me. It bit me, and I need to learn how to slow that down. I need to learn how to recognize that in the moment and fucking switch up my game plan and be able to pump the brakes a little bit, because today, as you can see, I was just punching and trying to get that one to work, and they just fucking weren't working, man. At least the trades that I was in. I was late, etc., etc. But yeah, man, it is what it is. I'm going to get better from this. I'm still positive on the account. Still positive on the account, guys. And, I'm fine with that. I'm not trailing to the downside yet, I'm not even anywhere near going into my max loss. So I have 1,000. My max loss on this account's $1,000. So I have a 25K account. If at any point during this eval I make it all the way to 24, I'm Dunsky. But I'm still over 25,000, which is good. I got some things I need to work on, and that was the point of this video. I'm trying to look it in the face and be honest with myself. And I did have a good trade at the open. Let's look at that at least on Elab. This was a, you know, if I could have just been patient, man, if I could have just really, really, really been patient through pre-market, and I could have been able to really capitalize. Well, I did. I had a good trade on this. Look at this. This is that very first pullback. Again, this didn't really have news, but you know, this was a momentum mover, and I nailed this trade. I took a starter here because I kind of anticipated this a little bit, which was fine. Yeah, we ended up having a nice move there, and I had some pretty decent size on this thing. 600 shares. You know, that's a pretty decent risk for me. I was like, you know what, this one's going my way. I'm gonna size into it a little bit more. And I had a good trade right there. And I should have ended my day like that. But I got caught up in freaking after this trade. Oh, okay, no. I'll tell you what happened. I had a new oven getting delivered today. And I took a second trade. I took that second pullback right here, which was a really good trade. And I had to cut it early because the fucking guy came and delivered my oven. And this ended up going in my direction. As you see, I had to cut it right here. It was a good trade. It was getting rejected a little bit. I had to cut in. This was just me recording it while I was gone. Ended up, you know, making a nice move. So that would have been another winner for me right there. And I should have just cut it for the day, man. But long story short, I took another trade on ModV was making a crazy moves for the day. And this was that penny stock I was getting fucking. I got shopped out in this 5-minute setup at in pre-market. This thing set up a nice move, a nice 5-minute pullback right here that I missed. And as I missed this one, I was getting FOMO. I seen this one go. I wasn't able to get in. I had even more. It was like a fueling feeling in my body. I felt it in my bones, dude. Like this FOMO was different. I felt it so strong. Like I can't even explain it to you, man. And I fucking fell for that shit, dude. Can't do that, man. I felt it too. Like I should have just, you know, I was already off my computer after the last trade on Elab, and you know, I was trying to make sense of like, you know, the struggle of the day. And I think I would have been in a much better place if I just would have came here. And but unfortunately, I took 2 more trades, and one of them was on this. I believe it was like somewhere in here, maybe. I don't, you know, let's just look. I think I took 2. Yeah, I think I took like this setup right here. No, maybe it was right here. Yeah, I think I took one here. I was looking for like this 5-minute. Got stopped out of that one. Then I went and took a trade on ANTE. Sorry, my son is having a hard time, but almost done, guys. I seen this play move at the open. I missed this. This would have been more of my setup right here. That very first deep pullback would have done decent here, but then I ended up taking a trade like looking for this looking for like this flag to break out. I got stopped out of that one. Lower quality trade. This was just something I seen going, and I hopped in, and you know. Anyways, guys, you know, I took a couple more bullshit fucking trades, and I even took a last one on ModV. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, and then I took another dumb backside fucking thing here. Didn't even make any sense. But guys, I'm done reviewing for the day. My son's going crazy. I'm gonna go check on him. I'm gonna get to work on these things, man. And again, I'm trying to be real. I'm trying to be transparent that I found a big weakness in my game after having a really good week and just being on strength, and wins. I wasn't ready. And that's what I'm gonna work on. And come into next week, I'm going to get back to my game plan. I'm going to tighten up my criteria for a stock that I'm going to trade and for my setups. And I'm going to start working on learning how to protect my gains because I'm going to get my gains again, man. That's just how it is. Not that I'm going to try to force that, but again, I need to stop focusing on the P&L so much and just, you know, judge myself on my executions, man. That's it. Low scalp, lots out, baby. Peace.